Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Karla. So today's video is gonna be a story time when I was pregnant, so stay tuned for that. Also, please don't forget to subscribe down below. Also, turn on that bell notification so I can notify you every time I post a new video. Also, please don't forget to give this video a big thumbs up. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoy the video and let's get started. So this video is gonna be when I was pregnant. So I did get pregnant when I was 20 and I'm now 21. So to get this video started, there was this week where I was really sick, where the whole week I was just like throwing up and like I was feeling very sick, very nauseous. I wasn't feeling myself very good. So that week happened, and then like I think it was like on a Friday that I woke up very sick, like very sick that day. I woke up with bad morning sickness where I was throwing up a lot. I didn't want to eat anything because everything that I would eat I would throw up. So that day I woke up very sick. I wasn't feeling good. I was even worried. I was like, what's going on with me? Like, I don't know, why am I so sick, or why am I throwing up so much? And so that day I was like, oh my god, like I don't want to go to the doctors or to the hospital because I had to work that day. So I was like, okay, let me just call my dad and see what he tells me. So I call my dad and he's like, I tell him, I'm like, oh hey pops, like, you know what, like I'm not feeling like this, I feel this and this and I don't know what to do, blah blah. And so he tells me, he's like, do you know there's something wrong with you? Did you eat something bad or something? And I was like, no, that I know. So I was like, okay. And then he was like, are you sure you're not pregnant? And I'm like, no, that I know I'm not pregnant. And he was like, well, you know, just go buy a pregnancy test and see what happens and all this. And I was like, what? Like, I don't need to buy a pregnancy test because by the way, I was in birth control. So I was like, what? Like, I can't be pregnant if I was in birth control, you know? So he tells me, he's like, just go buy the pregnancy test. You know, if it comes out negative, you know, we'll take you to the doctors and see what's going on. But if it comes out positive, you know why it is. So I was like, okay. I was like, oh, okay, like, you know, I'll go. So I went to a CVS, and I have never bought a pregnancy test. I didn't know what I was doing. So I asked this lady that was working there, and I'm like, can you please help me like find a good pregnancy test, because you know I've never bought a pregnancy test. And I asked her, I was like, which one do you think is the best? So she recommended me two. She was like, the best one that there is right now is the clear blue. That's the one that like tells you if you're pregnant or not pregnant. And she also told me the one that comes in the pink box. I forgot the name of it, but I'll just put a picture up here. And that one is just the one that shows you the 2 lines that you are pregnant or the 1 line that you're not pregnant. So I'm like, okay, thank you. So I got one of each. I got one of the blue ones and one of the pink ones. So I go back home and I'm just sitting there like, I don't want to take these pregnancy tests because like I'm scared. Like, I don't want it to be true. Like, I don't want to be pregnant. And I'm just sitting there like thinking about it and everything, and like I don't know. And then so I go and wait until, you know, like I have to go pee. So I go into the bathroom and I take the first pregnancy test, and that's the pink one. So I take that one, and I'm just sitting there waiting because it says like you have to wait like at least 1 minute to 2 minutes. So I'm like, yeah, right there waiting, and I'm waiting, and then I look at it. So I look at it, and then there was this line, like there was 2 lines. So I'm like, it can't be. I'm like, because one line is like fully pink, but the other line is like faded away, like not fully pink, but like halfway there. So I'm like I can't be pregnant, like I can't. So I'm like, oh, like I'm not pregnant. Okay, so I take the second one and I do it and everything, and I'm just like sitting there waiting to see the results, but I like take longer to see. I'm like taking 5 to 10 minutes because I'm just there sitting down thinking about stuff and what's gonna happen and everything. And I'm like, okay, so I need to look at it. So I'm sitting there and I look at the test and it says pregnant. When I saw that it said pregnant, like my heart dropped. Like it dropped to the moment where I was like, what? Like I'm pregnant? Because I didn't want kids at the moment. Like at the moment I didn't want kids. Like I wasn't stable enough. Like I wasn't ready. I didn't want to. Like I was 20 and I still wanted to live my life. Like I wanted to go out, have fun, you know. That's why I was working so much, because I wanted to go on vacation. I wanted to have so much adventure, have like fun with my boyfriend, with my friend. But then I was like, oh my God, if this happens, like that's all gonna go down. Like I'm not gonna be able to do that no more and all this, and I'm like just overthinking about stuff. So yeah, I'm just sitting there thinking about stuff, and I was like, wow, like this is gonna change so much. Like it's gonna change. I don't even know what's gonna happen, you know. Like why? Like why now? You know, like I wasn't ready for this. I didn't want this to happen. So okay, so after I went through all that rambling and everything, the first person that I called was my best friend. And my best friend Ruth knows everything about me. She's like a sister to me. I love her to death. She loves me, you know. So I call her first, and I call her on FaceTime, and I show her the pregnancy test, and I tell him like, dude, like I'm pregnant, like I'm having a baby. And then she like screams and she's like, what? You're having a baby? Oh my God, I can't believe it. This is so great. This is so good. This is beautiful. I can't believe it. Oh my God. Like, I call my dad, the person that suggested me to take the pregnancy test. So I'm like, I call him and he was like, what happened? I'm like, yeah, you were right, Pops. And he was like, I told you, blah, blah. I was like, what? How did you know? And he was like, well, because, you know, you're my daughter. I can see the way you act, the way your body has changed and everything. And for me, I didn't really see that my body was changing, you know, because I didn't have no pain. I wasn't going through anything, just weight that I was throwing up so much. And I was like, oh, like, you know, he was like, okay, now you just gotta take care of yourself and all this. And what made it worse was that when I called him, he didn't seem like excited, or he didn't seem like happy for me, or like, oh, like he didn't tell me like, oh, I'm gonna be there for you, or everything is gonna be okay. Don't like, or like tell me like, don't worry, Mija, like I'm here for you. The baby's gonna be, you know, I don't know, like he didn't tell me anything where to make me feel good, you know. So when that happened, I'm like feeling worse. I'm like, why is not my dad telling me anything positive, or, you know, anything? Like I understand, you know, where parents like, you know, protect us and, you know, don't want to see us like mess up or anything like that. My dad was one of those that he first wanted me to get married and have my own house with the person that I was with, you know, and then have kids, you know. But things not always happen like that, and not things are gonna happen the way they want it, you know, because in reality we can't change what's coming and we can't change the future, you know. So I understood the part where, you know, he was kind of like disappointed and like, you know, hurt. After that, I called my boyfriend, and I was so scared. Like I was scared. I was like shitting it. I didn't know what to do. So I grabbed my phone and I'm here like calling him because he was at work. So I FaceTime him and I flipped the camera around to show him the pregnancy test. And I'm like, look. And he's like, what is that? I'm like, it's a pregnancy test and it says pregnant. And he just stays quiet for like 2 minutes. I'm like, I'm pregnant. And he was like, what? Like, you're pregnant? And when did you find out and all this? And I'm like, I just found out like right now. And he was like he was in shock. Like, he was in so much shock because, as I said, we did not want babies at the moment. Like, we were not planning that. Like, we were not expecting none of that. So I understood the part where he was in shock and he was like, oh damn, like, you're pregnant, like, you're having my kid, you know, like. And he was just very shocked, and like, he didn't tell me anything. Like, at that moment, it seemed to me like, damn, like, I had messed up, you know, like. That made me feel even worse, you know, like, shit, throw more freaking, you know, wood in the fire to make it worse. So I'm like, okay, so I just left it like that. The next day that I didn't have to go to work, I went to Planned Parenthood, and I told them, I was like, I'm here because I want to do a pregnancy test. And they were like, okay, come in, blah blah. So they took me in and they did a urine test. So they did a urine test and everything, and I was waiting, and they come back and they call me and they were like, so yeah, you are pregnant. And I'm like, like, literally, I was hoping for me to go to Planned Parenthood and then tell me, oh no, it's a mistake, blah blah. Because I know they say that, you know, sometimes like when you take pregnancy tests, they don't always work, and like some blah 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 and all this. But then they say, you know, like 99% of the pregnancy tests never lie. So that didn't go my way. So they told me, they were like, yeah, so for sure you're pregnant. Well, like, so do you want to keep the baby or not? And to be honest, guys, I did think of aborting my baby because, how I said, I was not ready. I was not stable. That's why I was working so freaking much. I literally was working 40 hours to 48 hours every week. Every week. I only had 1 day off. So I was thinking, I was like, no, I can't. I'm not ready. Like, this is going to change everything. Like, I can't. Like, this baby's going to suffer. Literally at that moment I was. But then a second changed where I was like, I'm not, what's going on with me? Like, I can't do this to my own baby and to a child that doesn't have the fault for anything, you know? So I'm like, so I told the lady, I'm like, oh, I'm gonna have the baby. And so she's like, and then she comes with like, oh yeah, well, I was just asking because, you know, just to see what we're gonna do, but at the end of it, I don't think you were gonna be able to abort it. And I was like, oh, why? And she was like, oh, because you're already like 16 weeks and 3 days. I'm like, what? I'm like, 16 weeks and 3 days? Isn't that like 2 months or 3 months already? And she was like, yeah, you're like already like 3 months. So you're already like skipped your first trimester. You're already going to your second trimester. I'm like, what? Little, like, we're just gonna hear the baby's heart, see if the baby's doing good and everything. And I was like, okay. So they just take me in and hear the baby's heart and everything was good. They were like, yeah, baby sounds healthy and everything. I'm like, okay. When I went home and I seen my dad, and my dad is it's not one of those like tough guys, because he's a very like lovely person. But for me to see him like that, not to react in a way that I wanted him to react, like come and give me a hug and tell me like, oh, I'll support you, mija, I'll be here for you, or like anything like that. He didn't. That day I saw him and he didn't tell me anything. He was just like, oh, you're gonna go to work and everything, right? And I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna keep going to work and everything and all this and all that. I was like, yeah. And that was it. He didn't tell me, or like, how you feeling, so how's everything, like what's going through your mind, nothing like that. And literally, guys, that hurt me because my dad means everything to me. He means everything to me. He's my best friend. He's my world. He's my mom. He's my dad. He's just everything to me. And the next day, my boyfriend calls me because I hadn't talked to him the day when I went to Planned Parenthood. He calls me and he tells me, he's like, I'm sorry, like, by the way I reacted, the way I was the day that you told me that you were pregnant. I was just like very like confused, like I didn't know what to do. I was very like damn, like what am I gonna do now, and this and this and that. And he was like, but just know that I will always support you, and that I love you and I care about you, and I'm so happy that we're gonna have a baby, that we're gonna have a family together. And so, you know, by him telling me that, he made me feel so much better. Of course, I wanted him there for everything, for every little moment and everything, and that made me feel so much better. Because, how I said, when I found out, like, getting the reaction from my dad and then getting the reaction from him, I was like damn, like the two men that mean the most to me, like, are really acting like this. So by him telling me that, reacting like that, I was just happy. I was already happy right there. I was like, okay, like, it's like little by little everything's gonna get okay. So everything was going good. And then when I hit 4 months, I had an appointment to go to an ultrasound. So I was excited, I was pumped. I was like, yes, like I'm gonna finally see my baby. Like, how's the baby doing, how big the baby looks, because I already had missed my whole first trimester. So I was so ready to see how like the baby was looking, how his, like, how the heart sounded and everything. And so by 4 months, my belly wasn't showing that much, like, already, like my belly was not that big yet. So they're like, oh my god, like, you have such a little like tummy for 4 months. And I'm like, yeah. And then so they were like, so they did the ultrasound and I saw my baby, and like when I saw that, I was like, oh my god, like I can't believe I have a little human being in my stomach. Then like I started having problems with my family. That's saying my dad, my stepmom. I was still working like pretty much good amount of hours. When I was pregnant, I was working 40 hours every week, so I only had 2 days off. And so I started having problems, and you know, I was going through so much sadness, so much depression, because I wasn't living with my boyfriend yet. So for me not to be with him and him experience the pregnancy with me, I was getting sad every day because I always wanted to be with him, because literally I only saw him once a week. If I got lucky, twice a week. But we would only see once a week each other. And now that I was pregnant, like I wanted to be with him more often. And since he didn't live that close to me, like he lived like an hour away from me, like it was suck because I wasn't able to see him. It was a whole ramble where I was already sad enough of not seeing him and him experiencing his pregnancy with me, where I was going through problems with my family, and that was like so hard because they were putting me down and they were not like helping me out. They were making things harder on me, and I was like, damn, like this is tough, like this is hard. And also like financially, like it wasn't going good because I worked like 45 minutes to an hour for my job, and like literally I was wasting so much gas. I literally had to put like $200 like every week of gas. I would put 40 every 2 days because driving back and forth, it was a lot, and I still had to pay bills. So my money wasn't stable enough, like it wasn't enough. I started getting so frustrated and so like fed up, where I was like, damn, like really, we're like, they see me that I'm pregnant, that I'm struggling here, and they're not telling me, oh, like, you know, we'll help you, or like, you know, we'll help you with this, or we'll help you with that, you just have to pay this, you know, so it won't be too much. Because they were literally seeing me struggle so much, where I was like, oh my god, like come on, you can't see me like struggling to a point where I was like, damn, like can't do this no more, I can't. And my boyfriend, he was like damn, like that sucks, like I wish that you could live here with me. And I was like, And I was like, I wish so too, you know, because I would like for us to be together already, because now that we're gonna have a baby, you know, I want you to experience the pregnancy with me, and I want you to be there for you. And it will be so much easier because literally where he lives, it's like 10 minutes away from my job. So that literally would save me so much gas, and it would literally like save me so much with like that I don't have to pay. So so he told me that, and the next day he calls me. He's like, hey, you know what, like why don't you come and live with me, like come and live with me, like. And I was like, really? Like,
I was like, really, like you want me to live with you? You know,
because he lived with his parents. So his parents say like, yeah, like that's fine, tell her to come, like she's welcome and all this. And so I was like, you know what, I'll take it. So I tell him, I'm like, you know what, yeah, I'm gonna go live with you, because I was running to a point where if they're not helping me, I gotta figure out something for myself, to see something that's gonna help me out, you know, because how I was doing over there, it was not helping me at all. It wasn't helping me at all. Like, I was seeing that if I can't even have money for gas for my own car, how am I gonna have money for my baby, you know? And after that, everything was going so good, so smoothly. The next time, I think it was the next day or like 2 days after that, I had an appointment. I was already 5 months and a half, I think, already. And I go to an appointment that I had, and they check my belly and everything. And my doctor tells me, they're like, have you had any problems? Have you been going through depression or anything? And I'm like, yeah, here and there. He was like, oh, just be careful and all this and all that. And I'm like, why? And the doctor was like, because your baby dropped. And when she told me that, my heart dropped. I was like, so when she told me that, I was like, what do you mean my baby dropped? And she was like, yeah, she dropped a little bit because I guess you were going through so much, and you were going through depression, and you were worrying about too many stuff. And when that happens, you know, babies feel that, and babies can see what you're going through, so they feel the emotion, and so, you know, they drop a little bit. So yeah, after that happened, you know, things went smoothly, things went perfect. You know, I was eating healthy, and my belly was growing a lot more. So the belly was growing big, like it was growing so big that I was like, what the, like, where did this come from? You know, because my first trimester from my 4 months, I wasn't seeing much of a belly. So my belly grew very much after that. I feel very excited because I was able to show off my belly. But after that, like, it was growing big. Then I went to another appointment. This time it was an ultrasound, and this time I went and everything, and the lady told me, she's like, do you want to know what your baby gender is? And I was like, I want to know, but then I didn't want to know because my best friend wanted to do a gender reveal. So I was like, I don't know, like, I don't know if I do want to know. So at the end of it, I told her, I was like, you know what, just tell me, I want to know. So so at the moment when she was doing the ultrasound, like, she told me, she's like, I think it's a girl. And I'm like, you think it's a girl? And then she was like, yeah, I think it's a girl. I'm like, oh really? And she was like, yeah, I think it is. And I was like, why does she keep saying I think? Like, are you sure? Are you not sure, you know? And then I didn't know if it was a girl or a boy still, because she wasn't sure enough. So I was so anxious to know, because, you know, I wanted to start buying clothes, you know, I wanted to start like doing little things, but I didn't know, because I didn't know if it was a girl or a boy. I went back when I was 6 months. So I went back, and they were like, they told you your baby's gender yet? And I was like, they did, but they didn't seem that positive. So she was like, well, your baby is a girl. And when she told me that, I was excited because I wanted a girl. But when they told me that it was a girl, I was like, oh my god, I can't wait to like dress her up and do all of this and all of that. So I told my boyfriend, and my boyfriend was happy. Okay, that's good, you know, I'm gonna have a little girl, a little princess. So I was excited after that. And you know, little by little we started buying things, you know, because we knew what it was already. So we were like, yes, we can buy things and this and that. And then when I found out when she was a girl, you know, she would move so much. Like she was crazy, like in the belly. She would move so much. Every time I would touch her, I would talk to her, or every time her dad would talk to her, her dad would always sing to her, like, you know, pet the belly, touch the belly, like all those things. And she would move so much. And you know, and it was cute and it was beautiful. I was like, okay, you know, good thing everything is going good. And then when I hit 9 months, I was good, I was healthy and everything. So when I hit 9 months, it was bad. It was really bad. Like, I was getting pain on and off. Like, I wasn't feeling good. Like literally I would be so tired every day. Like, I wasn't able to sleep, I wasn't able to walk. Like, oh my god, like it was so bad because my stomach at 9 months, it was huge already. It was really big. Like, she got so big where I couldn't even walk, I couldn't even take a shower, I couldn't even sleep, I couldn't even get up. Like, literally if I was sitting like this, like I have to struggle to get up. So it was hard. So I went to the hospital 3 times in that month. So the first time that I went was because I was feeling like small contractions that I thought they were the real thing already, but I was feeling small contractions already and everything. And so I went to the hospital and I told them how I was feeling. They were like, oh, it's just a false alarm, you know, you feel mini contractions and you feel little pains like that because, you know, you're already in your last trimester and everything. And I was like, okay. So then the second time that I went to the hospital was because I was feeling very sick, and I was bleeding chunks when I would go to the bathroom. And you know, that wasn't normal, because that's not normal, because you're not supposed to, you know, bleed. And every time they tell you, if you know you see any this and this and that, you know, just come. So they checked me and everything, and and they were like, oh, it's okay, because you know that only means that, you know, because her head is really down really low on your uterus, and she's just putting pressure on you, you know, that's why it's happening, you know. And so, but it's normal and everything. And I was like, okay. So I was like, okay. I was like, you know, her due date was September 19th. So 2 days after that happened, when we went to the hospital, I was so bad. I was so bad during that week where she was about to come, the 19th. Oh my god, like I couldn't wait for her to come out already, because I was feeling so much pain. I couldn't hold the pain on my back no more. I couldn't even walk, I couldn't sleep. It would hurt when I would go to the bathroom. I was just so like, oh my god, like I need her to get out, because literally she would move so much and it would hurt. It would hurt because I felt like so much pressure on my stomach and so much pressure down my uterus and my vagina, because oh my god, like no. So literally she was gonna be born the 19th. The 18th I was ready to go to the hospital. I was so ready, because I was already feeling contractions and everything. And my boyfriend's like, no, don't go, just wait till tomorrow, because you know tomorrow is supposed to be her due date, and what about she's born tomorrow, blah blah. And I was like, okay. So I couldn't sleep. I only slept like 2 hours. I was like, oh my god, I can't. So literally we woke up the next day. I woke up like around 6 in the morning, because I wasn't feeling so much pain. I was like getting so many contractions. So like around 7, I told my boyfriend, I was like, you know what, like I'm not feeling good, I'm not feeling like this. And he was like, do you want to go and all this? And I was like, no, let's just wait a little bit, because then they're just gonna make us wait there, blah blah blah, and I don't want to wait. And he was like, okay. He was like, so we waited a little bit. So we left the house around 7:30 and everything. When we got there, I told him how I was feeling. I told him I was feeling contractions and blah blah. And they were like, okay. They took me in and everything. So it was true. They were like, yeah, you are. So they saw how open I was already, and they were like, oh, you're just like 2.3 like open, like dilated. And I was like, oh my god, like, and you need to wait until you're 10 so the baby can be born. I'm like, oh my god. So they just put the monitors around me, you know, to see to hear the baby's heartbeat and to hear the contractions and everything. And I was like, okay. So I was just waiting there. Hours were passed by. So it got to like 12, until I got like 12. My boyfriend texted me. He was like, you know what? Can I just go get something to eat really quick? Because we hadn't ate anything. He hadn't ate anything. So he was like, can I go get something to eat really quick? Do you think the baby's gonna come anytime soon? And I was like, no, like you can go, because my water hadn't broken yet. I was still contracting and everything, but nothing was still going on. So he was like, okay, I'll be back really quick. Text me if anything. And I was like, okay. And literally like 5 minutes into that, my water breaks. I'm like, oh my god, my water just broke. And I immediately text him like,
my water just broke, I think they're about to take me in. And he was like, oh my god, what? Like, I'm rushing. And he was like, just wait, don't let them take you in. Like, I want to be there for you and everything. And I was like,
I know. So I was like, hurry up, because you know I won't be able to do this without you. So they saw that my water was broken, but then they checked me if I was like already dilated more, and I was, but I was only dilated like 7.1, and I said you have to be 10 to have the baby. So I was like, oh my god. So they told me you have to wait a couple of more minutes and blah blah. And once my water broke, you guys won't imagine how much and how bad the pain got and how much they hurt. And oh my god, like I literally couldn't take the pain. So I texted my boyfriend. I'm like, come on, like hurry up, they're already gonna take me to the delivery room. He was like, okay, I'm going.
I'm rushing, but the freaking elevators don't work. Like, I don't know what to do, and somebody just told me where to go, and I'm like, oh my god, just get over here.
So they take me into the delivery room. They get everything ready, and they're like, you just have to wait until you're more dilated and all this. And I'm like, oh my god, like I was in so much pain. Like I was sweating. Like I couldn't do it anymore. So it got to 2 o'clock, and I was still there, and I wasn't even giving birth yet and everything. So they told me you still have to wait because you're like you're almost there. You're in like 8 point something open already. And I was like, okay. So I was there. I was like, you know, taking the pain, blah blah blah. And they were like, do you want to take the epidural? And I was like, no. I'd rather take the pain by myself, but please don't give me anything. I don't want to take the epidural. I don't want to take any medication. I don't want to take anything. Please don't give me anything, because I have heard a lot of bad experience and a lot of bad things that the epidural does to you in the future. So I was like, no, I don't want to have none of that. I'd rather take a normal like 240 to 250. I was already to the point where I'm like, no, I can't. I need you guys to take the baby out because I can't do it no more. Literally, they put an air mask on me because I was losing, like, able to breathe. I was losing color. I couldn't take it anymore. Like, my boyfriend saw the pain that I was going through. He even told them, now, like, can you guys do something, because I don't think she could take it no more. And then I was like, can you please call the doctor, because I can't take it no more. I need you guys to take my baby out, or else I won't make it. And they were like, okay. So they called the doctor, and the doctor comes, and she was like, okay, you're almost there, just give me like 2 more minutes. And I was like, okay. So they got everything ready, and they're like, every time you contract, push and everything. And I'm like, okay. So I was there, and they were like, okay, here comes the contraction, push. So I pushed the first time, and nothing was happening. I pushed the second time, you know, it was getting there. I pushed the third time, and they were like, okay, like, we see her head coming out. So they were like, push one more time, a little bit harder. And I did, and her head came out. They were like, okay, so her head came out. Just wait a little bit, just breathe, take a deep breath in. The next contraction that comes, go ahead. So I was like, okay. So the next contraction came, and I'm like, I need her out now. So they were like, okay, push. So I pushed the first time. I pushed. She was coming out. The second time that I pushed so hard until I couldn't no more, until I couldn't breathe no more. I pushed, and then I heard her cry, and I was like, oh my god, yeah, she's out, she's here, she's good. And I saw her with her big beautiful beautiful eyes. Like, she was so ready to see the world. Like, oh my god, like just seeing her was like melting my heart. Like, I just wanted to cry. And when they put her skin to me, I just grabbed her and hold her, and I was like, oh my god, like I love you so much. Like at that moment, like oh my god, like once I saw her come out and I heard her little cute cry and I saw her beautiful big eyes, I fell in love with her. At that moment I fell in love with her, and at the moment I was like, wow, like I'm in love with this girl. This is my daughter, this is my baby, this is my blood, this is the little baby that came out of me. Like a little girl. I'm a 4'11" little girl, and me going through the pain of having this beautiful little girl, I was like, oh my god, I can't believe I did it. I can't believe I went through that. I couldn't believe it, and I was like, oh my god, I'm so in love with her. I love her so much. And I was just there, and I was holding her, and everything was so beautiful. And I was like, oh my god, she was born on September 19th of 2018 at 3:02 p.m. When I hold her and I saw her, I was like, oh my god, it was so much worth it, because she's here nice and healthy. And I saw that she had all her 10 fingers, her 10 toes, her 2 beautiful eyes, her nose, her little cheeks, her little ears. And her name is Alicia, and now she's 4 months old. She's a little beautiful 4-month-old baby. She's a little chumpy little baby. She's so beautiful. She's the most well-behaved baby that you'll ever know. She won't cry. I think the only time you hear her cry is either when she's hungry or she's tired. Those are the only 2 times you hear her cry, because she won't cry. She won't cry. She's so well-behaved. She's the cutest little baby. Like, I just love her. Like, look at her beautiful eyes. Look at her. Oh my god, look at her. She's so beautiful. Oh, mama, say hi. Say hi, mama. Say hi, mama. Hi. But yeah, guys, so that was my story, my experience. So I really hope you guys liked it. Really hope you guys enjoyed it. Please don't forget to subscribe down below and give this video a big thumbs up. And yeah, stay tuned for the next video. Bye. Alright, bye guys.